Episode 16. Listening beyond words. The skill that unlocks trust and insight. Today, I want to explore one of the most underestimated and yet most transformative capacities a leader can cultivate. The ability to listen deeply. Not listening as in waiting for your turn to speak, not listening as in processing information quickly so you can respond, listening as in being with someone fully, curiously, attentively, non-judgmentally. Listening in a way that makes the other person feel understood, maybe even more understood than they understand themselves. Let me take you into a moment that remains vivid in my memory. I was working with a leader, a very senior executive, who had come to a session visibly tense. He sat down, took a breath, and launched into a story about a conflict he was having with his team. The words were clear, structured, well organized, but something in the tone underneath felt off. His voice was steady, but the energy behind was brittle. So I leaned in gently and said, "If I'm hearing you correctly, it sounds like you're carrying this conflict alone. Almost as if you feel you're the only one responsible for fixing it. How does this land for you?" He froze, not because he was offended, but because he suddenly felt seen. He put his hand over his eyes and said quietly, "Oh yes, that's exactly how I feel, and I didn't even realize it until you said it." That moment didn't come from brilliance, it came from listening beyond the words. Listening to the pauses, the tension in his jaw, the contradictions between what he said and how he said it. It came from being curious, not from assuming, from paraphrasing gently enough that he could hear himself through my voice. That is deep listening. And everyone feels it immediately. It is like holding up a mirror, not to the face, but to the inner world. Most leaders think they listen, but what they actually do is process. Processing is cognitive. Listening is relational. Processing gathers information. Listening makes meaning. Processing prepares a response. Listening creates connection. Let me share another moment, very different but equally powerful. During a workshop, a woman shared a story about a difficult transition that her team was going through. She spoke fast, her eyes darting, her body slightly leaning forward. When she finished, the group reacted with quick advice. "Have you tried this? Maybe you should speak to HR. Maybe you need a clearer agenda." I could see the frustration building behind her polite smile. So I said, "Let me try to say back what I heard, and you tell me if I'm getting it right." And I paraphrased, not just her words, but the emotion underneath. And I said, "It sounds like you're trying to stay strong for everyone, but inside you're feeling quite alone in this change, and maybe even a bit overwhelmed." Her eyes filled instantly. She nodded. She said, "Yes, finally someone hears what I'm actually saying." You could feel the entire energy in the room shift in that moment. She didn't need solutions, she needed understanding. And understanding only emerges through deep listening. Listening that holds no judgment, no rush, no agenda. Deep listening is not soft, it's not passive, it's a form of leadership intelligence. Because the moment someone feels truly understood, something unlocks inside them. They relax, they open, they think more clearly. They feel safer to explore new perspectives. They feel braver to take responsibility. And insight becomes accessible. There is a reason for this. Being understood is a biological need. When someone listens deeply, our nervous system settles. We shift from defensiveness into openness. We move from reactivity into reflection. And in that state, better thinking becomes possible. It's fascinating. In many conversations, the moment of breakthrough doesn't come from a brilliant question. It comes from a simple sentence like, "Let me see if I'm getting you right." Or, "It sounds like what matters most to you here is la la la." Or, "I hear the fear behind your frustration." It's paraphrasing, it's mirroring, it's giving language to what the person is trying and sometimes struggling to articulate. And yes, it's eye contact, it's presence. It's putting your phone away, your thoughts away, and even your solutions away. It's showing up with an intention. I am here with you, not to fix you, not to judge you, but to understand you. So, how can you practice this? Here are 5 practical tips to cultivate the muscle of deep listening. Tip number 1, pause before you respond. So, even 2 seconds of silence can deepen your presence. It tells the other person that you're not rushing to reply. You're letting their words land. Tip number 2, listen for what's not being said. So pay attention to tone, pace, body language. Often the truth hides in the gaps. Tip number 3, reflect and paraphrase gently. So use phrases like, "So what I'm hearing is," or "It sounds like you might be feeling blah blah blah." And always check, does that resonate? Tip number 4, drop the agenda. Let go of fixing, advising, steering. Show up with the mindset, help me understand what it's like to be you right now. And last tip, practice listening hygiene. That means turning off distractions, phone, email, even your inner monologue. Give people the gift of your full, clean attention. Leaders often ask me, how do I build trust faster? And I tell them, if you learn to listen deeply, trust builds itself. Because trust is not built through promises, it's built through presence. I once observed a leader who was extraordinary at this. In meetings, he would turn his body fully toward the person speaking, not halfway, fully. And he kept his eyes on them, soft but attentive. He didn't interrupt, he didn't fidget, he didn't jump to conclusions. Instead, after they finished speaking, he would say something like, "So, if I'm hearing you correctly," da, 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 and then reflect their message back. And you could watch people melt. Their shoulders dropped. their voice softened, their ideas become clearer, they become braver. No, not because he agreed with them, he often didn't, but because they felt understood. Deep listening isn't agreement, it's acknowledgement. And acknowledgement is what human beings crave most. So, as we explore this skill, I want to offer one simple reflection to you. Think of the last conversation where you felt deeply understood. How did you know? What did the other person do? What shifted in you? That feeling, that softening, that clarity, that sense of being seen, that is what deep listening gives to others. And it is one of the greatest gifts you can offer as a leader, a colleague, a coach, a human being.